We've been discussing this pathetic series of sentences for these 4 men involved in this brutal and violent attack, which ultimately killed Fau Vake. And to see this latest sentence, which was a discharge without conviction, which I've described as appallingly weak. Walk Without Fear Trust Chairman Eugene Bareman is, of course, the coach of a lot of the kickboxers from the same gym, as well as Israel Adesanya, and he joins me now. Eugene, g'day, mate. Nice to have you on the program.
Hi, Duncan. Thanks a lot for that intro.
Yeah, it's, we've been taking calls on it this morning, and there's obviously, you can imagine what people are saying and thinking. It's when someone dies, when someone's killed as a result of this violence, and you'd want some sort of punishment that reflects the crime. For this latest one, for him to walk free because he's got a job with the Tongan rugby team, but previously he was arguing that he was a busy exporter and had to travel with his goods. I mean, the guy's changed the story and he walks free. I think it's pathetic. How are people reacting to it? You know, his friends and family and yourself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're a lot closer than most to the situation, so for us it's quite devastating, Duncan. Like, we just right from the start we've been kicked in the teeth basically with this, and we can't believe that after all these years since it's happened, we're still getting kicked in the teeth by the judicial system. It really goes right back to the way that this case was judged, and they looked at all the individual acts and they didn't, look at it in its entirety, and they didn't look at his contribution to the death. He was the one that started the fracas. He was also the one that, after Fau tried to de-escalate the situation, he went and started the whole thing up again, which eventually led to his accomplice hitting Fau and killing him. And to see him, get off like this with a slap on the wrist, and then get a position that I believe is probably a position of privilege, it should probably could go to a more deserved person. Yeah, it's the reason that we're frustrated, and it's the reason we're coming out and talking about it, because we don't think it's right.
Yeah, no, and you've got the country with you on this one, because I agree with you. The way that they've isolated each incident, so all they've said is this guy slapped someone and, was sort of, on the fringes of the melee, which is complete crap. He starts it. Now, when you start something, you can therefore think, well, I've got 3 mates with me, so they'll pile in as well and deal with this guy, which is exactly what happened. But the judge is saying that he had no expectation that someone else would come in and throw a killer punch. What sort of planet does the judge live on? I mean, has he ever been in this crap? I mean, this is how it works. The guy started it. The guy, and that's hugely instrumental, I would have thought, in the whole act.
100%. We 100% agree with you. Like, at the end of the day, if he had a lot clearer thought and not had started it by slapping Fau and being aggressive, then his friends would never have jumped into that situation either. He was also the person that, when it seemed like it was de-escalated because Fau had stepped up and decided this has gone too far, walked up to Fau, and just before the killer or the coward punch was delivered that ended Fau's life, he was the one that was aggressive towards Fau and slapped him again. So after it was de-escalated. So, I mean, this guy is, in our eyes, he's guilty. He's just as guilty as the man who delivered the fatal blow. So it's the judicial system just leaves us bewildered, and the judge leaves us bewildered. You got to remember, this is coming from the same judicial system that ruled that the punch was thrown without the intent to kill. If anyone knows what intent a punch has, it's us here at City Kickboxing. When you blind shot a person and you load up your left hook and you hit someone and they're not ready for it, your only intention is to kill them. That's all you've got going through your mind. Because that's in most cases, that's what's going to happen. So it's hard to see where that judgment comes from, where that opinion comes from, that punch was thrown without the intention to kill our friend. When you ask any fighter, anybody who's in the industry that we are, and that's 100% obviously what he wanted to do.
Because it's about it's like a loaded gun, and the very little that I was involved in boxing in Wellington at a very low level, but I'll tell you what, after training for the sport and knowing what you're capable of and what the power is there, you have total respect for it, and you put your hands down by your sides. That's what I learned. And so the judge has a real lack of understanding of the force of punching and what punching is and what it can do, and also it lacks the understanding that once you've been hit like that, your head's going to hit the concrete, and you can't brace your fall. And this is exactly what happened. It's a real lack of understanding of what you guys very much know is the power of the body, and used properly,
It's an absolute lack of understanding, and the travesty of that is that because of that lack of understanding, we've had these guys that, in our opinion, have basically walked away with a slap on their wrist, while our friend is, he's gone forever. So, where's the responsibility to educate yourself a little more about what exactly a punch is and what a punch is when it's thrown in that situation, what intent that punch actually has. Because, as you know, having trained boxing, you would never ever even fathom punching someone from behind who's not ready for it.
No, only if I wanted to go into jail, because when you do it, I'm 50 years of age now. I know what it does. I've seen it. I've been part of it, and I've trained. And there's no way. It's just no go zone.
Well, what's your intent, Duncan, when you do that, right? Your intent, if you ever did that, would be to hurt that person in the highest possible way.
Well, don't be surprised if they die.
Yeah.
Be prepared that they're going to die.
Exactly, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to harm them in the highest possible way you can.
I think the Tongan rugby team also have got some questions here. The Tongan Rugby Union, by hiring this guy. I mean, do you think the All Blacks would carry a bloke like this?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Like the Tongan rugby team, the Tongan rugby team should not be hiring people that had a hand in killing. Look, it's never mind the fact that they killed a young innocent man, but they also killed a young Tongan man.
Exactly.
Which makes it even more relevant and even more of a kick in the teeth. Look, there's some questions and some answers that need to come out from that, but it's amazing that they've chosen to put this man in a position of privilege and responsibility over other young men, and they've put him in this place. There's something's gone wrong there. They've provided affidavits supporting his character. That's what an affidavit does, to support the character. And what character? The person doesn't have any character. So it's that is
He got the job in April. It's pretty questionable, the timing.
Yeah, very questionable. I think a lot has gone on here. I think that, it starts with us that this decision was only coming out now. It seems pretty obvious to us that this decision's been delayed and delayed and delayed, possibly so this person can travel and put themselves in a better position.
Oh, that's exactly what's happened. It looks like he's manipulated the system. It's taken 3 years to get him into the court. This is just ridiculous. Who's the justice system for?
Yeah, like I said, Duncan, we have to say something about this. We have to speak about this because it's a travesty.
It really is. All my sympathy and thoughts with you guys. I know how hard you've taken it, and I know how hard you guys train and work and are disciplined and everything. So, all the best, Eugene. We'll keep talking about it, mate. We'll keep doing everything we can.
I just got a little bit of information through now, Duncan, actually, which is quite relevant.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Duncan, Mike Angos here.
G'day, Mike.
I do the media here, and you know me well.
I do.
We've just got information through from people who are in Tonga listening to Tongan Talkback radio. Apparently, Tongan Rugby has issued a verbal statement saying that the guy wasn't employed by Tongan Rugby, and either the coach or the manager has lied in that affidavit, and some sort of investigations ensuing. We haven't. This is just what we're getting secondhand over the radio. It's been translated for us into English. It's literally just coming off our desk, and we're expecting a statement apparently from the Tongan Rugby Union very soon, which just puts an entirely different context on it if this information that we are getting is true. Well,
if this is true, and I don't see any reason for it not to be, given what you tell me there. If that's the truth, then he's in contempt of court. He's lied to the court. I mean, this now. The irony is that's when they get serious. That's when the judges get serious about things, which is ridiculous, I know. But when they're lied to and given make believe in the courts, you go to jail for that. Funny you don't go to jail for using it as an excuse or for killing someone, but you will for contempt of court. This means that this to me is a retrial.
Yeah, that's some interesting information, Duncan. So,
I'll keep in touch with you, Mike. Yeah, I'll keep in touch with you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Duncan. Thanks for the coverage.
Yeah, no worries. And Eugene, thanks as well. It's coming up to 11 o'clock. It is, wow, that does throw a bit more light on it, doesn't it? I mean, if he's manipulated to the extent that he's lied to the court about the job with Tongan Rugby, because Tongan Rugby now stand to be very hugely embarrassed by this. He's so thick that he didn't think about the downstream effect, did he, of it coming out and as a part of his excuse. If it's true that he's made it up, he goes back to court. Surely. He goes back to court, surely. Wow, interesting information. And I'll keep on top of that to make sure that we can find out what the developments are, not just throughout today, but also into next week as well, because I don't think this is now finished or a shut case.